Venerable Wimalaghana Thero, Most Venerable Chandarathana Thero, Most Venerable Sumaranara Thero, dear all professors, ladies and gentlemen, I'm China Hangru Sakimanta. In China, my name is Venerable Shi Miao. I'm Secretary General of Chinese Language and Cultural Center and Secretary General of the Chinese Buddhist Students Union in Sri Lanka. It is a great pleasure to invite all of you today to participate in this launch ceremony of the Sinhala version of the Analects of Confucius and Chinese-Sinhala Idioms Dictionary. The Analects of Confucius is the book that has the deepest influence of Chinese culture. In ancient China, there's a saying that half of the Analects of Confucius rule the world. If you want to truly understand Chinese culture and understand the character and source of Chinese people, then studying the Analects of Confucius is indispensable. And learning Chinese idiom is an important way to understand Chinese cultural source. Learning good idioms is not only conducive to the improvement of Chinese language label, but also conducive to the understanding of China's extensive and profound culture. The Idiom Dictionary, which will be launched today, will also be a practical tool for Sri Lankans to learn Chinese language and prepare for HSK. 1,600 years ago, Master Fa Hien came to Sri Lanka from China. He was the first Chinese monk who visited Sri Lanka in history. He studied Buddhism here and brought many Buddhist scriptures to China for translation. He also became the first builder of friendship between Sri Lanka and China. Today, like Master Fa Hien, we also came to Sri Lanka to study. Every year, thousands of Chinese monks come to Sri Lanka. Some study in Kelaniya University, some study in Colombo University, and some study in Kelaniya University in Kandy. During the study in Sri Lanka, we found that there was almost no Chinese book in Sri Lanka bookshop and library. That is to say, if Sri Lankans want to know more about China, they cannot find material in their own bookshop and library. This situation is incongruous with the long-standing friendly relations between Sri Lanka and China. As the public opinion in today's world is mainly controlled by the Western world, the internet is full of slander and fabricated false news about China, which will mislead people to have a correct understanding of China. So, as a new generation of Chinese monks, I think if we are going to study and promote the spirit of Fa Hien, we should spread culture like Master Fa Hien. The difference is, Master Fa Hien introduced Sri Lanka Buddhist scripture to China, but today, 1,600 years later, what we need to do is introduce the translation of Chinese important cultural books to Sri Lanka, to help Sri Lanka people know the real China. With the common aspiration of promoting cultural exchanges between Sri Lanka and China, I and Most Venerable Sumaranara established the Chinese Language and Cultural Center to support and publish the Sinhala version of the Analects of Confucius and Chinese-Sinhala Idiom Dictionary. We have also gradually formed a team to research Chinese culture, including Dr. Waruna, who translates the 36 stratagem from China. Waruna, yeah? With your hand. And Most Venerable Nataji. He's translating the China's Xiaojing. Next, we will translate and publish other Chinese cultural books in succession. Our team will be committed to the communication between Sri Lanka and Chinese culture. The publication of the Analects of Confucius and Idiom Dictionary is supported by many Chinese enterprise and private institutions in Sri Lanka, including the Chinese Chamber of Commerce in Sri Lanka, 在水一方 Club, 生香 Construction Company, Cherries 丽华 Jewelry, the Pani Dingding Company, 福建泉州元商 Tea Industrial Development Company, who sponsors the printing and publishing the Analects of Confucius and Dictionary. And my good friend, Mr. Stephen Zhou, the chairman of Jetco Company, and Mr. Wang Li, and many other Chinese friends, they also give great support to promote the books. I would like to thank them for their support. I believe that in the future, the Chinese Language and Cultural Center will publish and distribute more books about Chinese culture to recommend the real size of Chinese culture to Sri Lanka people. Today, China's Analects of Confucius and Idiom Dictionary has been translated into Sinhala and introduced to the Sri Lanka people. This is of great significance. It will be a new chapter in the friendly relations between Sri Lanka and China. I'm very happy to witness it with you today. Thank you very much.